The New York Islanders win 4-3 in overtime against the New Jersey Devils, and this is wow, this this is a weird one. Um, I don't know whether to be really excited about tonight's game. I guess I should be because we won, but we should have won in regulation. It's becoming such a I mean, we've given up three leads with 3 minutes or less three times this year already in 7 games, 7 games. And this is a pattern. This is a pattern from last year. It's the same as this year. I don't know what happens to these guys. They just choke. Now, we're saying that I know that a lot of teams now come back all the time. This is it used to be kind of an uncommon thing when you pulled your goaltender and you actually scored. It didn't happen very often back in the 60s, 70s, 80s, and 90s, but now it seems to happen on a pretty regular basis, but it seems to happen on a pretty regular basis to the New York Islanders. And that seems to be a bit of a problem. Uh, 4 overtime games now out of 7. We went to 28 overtime games last year. And this is where I see the problem with the Islanders. We have no killer instinct that we can ever pull away and beat a team. Like we don't beat them 5-2. We don't beat them 6-2. We don't beat them 4-1. We beat them in overtime or shootout. Well, shouldn't say a shootout because we only had one win in shootout last year and we got one already this year. But you get the point of the matter here. So the Islanders really, it's so frustrating because honestly, they've been playing great in a lot of these games and they've deserved a better fate, but they just haven't gotten it. And it seems like every time we make a turnover or something, it's in the back of our net. If they make a turnover, we shoot the puck wide or we hit the goalpost or something, and nothing ever just seems to go right for the Islanders in that way. Anyway, I'm super excited with us winning this game tonight. We needed it badly, but New Jersey could be one of those teams we're battling for a playoff spot, and to give them a free point, that really sucks. Especially, they lost 3 in a row coming into this game, so after a hot start by it would have been a 4 point game. We could have actually just closed in on Jersey and we should have, and it's very disappointing. But you know what? After a loss to Detroit, I'll take this one. And we made sure to get 2 points tonight. So that's the most important thing. So let's go get into how this game actually broke down. In the first period, we get a beautiful goal by Brock Nelson. Sweet, sweet little tip in and a really nice shot by Adam Pelech on net. And Palms picking up the assist on that early in the game. 1 minute and 23 seconds sets the tone. Let's get excited, right? Why not? Unfortunately, for me, my stream crapped out at when Nico Hischier scored his 8th goal of the season. I didn't even see it. It's first goal I haven't seen this year, and I didn't want to wait for the recaps to see the goal, so I thought I would just do it anyway. I heard the fourth line was on the ice for that goal, but I know nothing about it. But I do know what I saw from the fourth line tonight, and that's what I'll talk about a little bit later in the podcast here. So anyway, it's 1-1, 11:36 into the first period, and Anders Lee, who's off to a great start this season, scores his third from Dobson and Pajot. And it's a power play goal. And the thing about that power play is it was a really bad power play. But how did we score that goal? We scored that goal because Dobson shooting the puck from the top, which he rarely ever does. And a bad rebound given by Allen. And what had happened is Anders had got caught behind the net and was left behind. But as he was coming out from behind, that rebound sat there right in front of him. And lo and behold, he had himself a nice, easy goal. Now, nobody can tell me that any coach has ever drawn that up on a board. That's not the way they draw up power play goals. And the funny thing about it is power play goals are usually, I would say like 10% of them are offset plays. and on the power play. It's usually always off a scramble. It's that's how you get the penalty killers tired. And you think we would have learned from that in our later power plays and shot a little bit more from up top and seen what happened, but we didn't. However, I did notice a noticeable difference in our power play defenseman shooting the puck tonight, and talk about that a little bit later in the podcast. So anyway, the Islanders go into the second period with the 2-1 lead and feeling pretty good about ourselves. We're playing pretty good. Once again, Ilya's looking good in the first period. The next one in the second period, this one was it was an odd goal. 5:31 into the second period, Lazar from Cotter and Siegenthaler. But the weird part about this one was how the puck came out from around the corner, and Ilya had lost sight of the puck, and he kept looking at the puck carrier from behind the net, but he had already passed the puck to Lazar, and Lazar basically put into a net, and Soroki's still looking to his left to try to find the puck. He never saw the puck, never moved, never did nothing. It wasn't a good goal, but he lost sight of the puck. What can you do? I mean, there's not a whole lot you can do when you lose sight of the puck. It was just really odd because it wasn't a spot where he should have lost sight of the puck, but something happened, and things happened. So anyway, that makes it 2-2. And that was a little bit disappointing because we had been playing so well. But to the rescue at 11:28 is Kyle Palmieri with his third goal of the year. I tell you, Palms has just been playing so good this year. I'm so excited for him. And I can tell you right now, you can write in 30 to 35 with Palms this year. You can take that to the bank. He is playing outstanding hockey. From Romanov and Nelson. And what a beautiful tip it was from Palmieri, but what a great shot it was from Romanov. Beautiful deflection, beautiful deflection. We'll talk a little bit more about this also when we get into the players about Romanov on that play. So great job, Romy. He was definitely uber active in this game tonight for sure. Jesper Bratt ties it up in the third period. We're down 5-on-6, and it's man, Dobson. I don't know, man. Anytime I've ever been in defending in my end, and especially like if it's a 5-on-6 or something like that, you don't take the time to handle the puck in the middle of the of the hash marks in dead center in the ice. You take so long, somebody slaps it off your stick, you pass it right over to Jesper Bratt. He's got the easiest goal of his life. Jesus, Dobson. The first thing you do is you whack that puck out of there. You whack it as far away from your net as you possibly can. You never try to control the puck at that spot. Like, what were you, 4 feet out from the top of the crease, and you try to handle it? And what do you got? Nothing but players around you. Nothing. And you try to handle the puck. Like, get serious. Like, Dobby, bad game tonight. We'll talk about him a little bit later too. So very disappointed in Dobson tonight. Is like, I'll talk about him when I get there. But anyway, so like I said, our old friend, I try to tell myself this every time that we lose a bad we lose lose a bad point or whatever. I keep trying to bring myself back to Barry Trotz, and we're in the points collecting department. But Jesus, I was so frustrated. But why do we have to give away points like this all the time, especially to a team like Jersey, who's in our division, who's in our conference? Yeah, it was just bad, bad, bad. And I, I knew Jersey is a good 3-on-3 team. They got the players for it. They got the Hughes brothers. They got Heischer. Not to say that we don't have some good 3-on-3 players as well, but as you seen in the overtime, they came with their best, and we didn't. So I noticed Patrick's been doing that a bit, trying to bring out Brock and Palms to kind of shut down the other team's big top three. And they did that successfully, but not without a goalpost being hit. And Ilya was a bit under siege there, for sure. No doubt the reason we got point number one, even for the tie, was a couple of the saves that Ilya made late in the third, and in overtime there as well. But anyway, once we finally got our big boys on the ice, Bo Horvat puts it away at 109 into OT. Beautiful pass from Barzell and a nice play by Ryan Pollock. And the beautiful thing about this play was is they knew exactly what they were doing. We talk about that half a second too late to make a pass. Well, in this one, Barzell's head was a half a second early for that pass. And I'll tell you what I mean by that is the second that Bars dropped that puck off the boat and he kind of picked Hughes. He popped off the pick. He sees Horvat look back at him. He knows that Horvat has only one place to go, and that's either a very, very sharp angled shot, which he knows he's not going to take, or go around behind the net. And the second that puck starts coming back to Bars, Bars has one thought in his mind. I'm putting it over to the left-hand side for when Bo comes out around the net, and he can one-time it. And he actually passed that puck to a spot. He didn't pass to Bo Horvat. He passed it to a spot, and Horvat arrived right at the right time. Boom! In she goes, and we got ourselves a 4-3 on her victory. So I'm happy about the victory. That gets us up to 3-2-2. We did enter this game in 14th place in the Metro. So all points are important for us, especially wins. Not that we're out of it. We were in 14th place in the Metro, but we were also 2 points out of a playoff spot. So at the same time, it's early days in the season. So anyway, that was a game. It was an exciting game. The Islanders had the majority of the play. And for all you analytical people out there, for all the analytics, the New York Islanders are number one in the NHL in puck possession in the offensive zone. So what does that tell you about analytics? Yeah, what does that tell you about analytics? So 3-2-2 Islanders, who've been shut out 3 times this year in 7 games, are number one in the NHL in puck possession in the offensive zone. So, but it does tell you how well the Islanders have been playing because they have been playing well. It's just they have no finishers, and that seems to be the problem. So I just thought that was hilarious that we actually led the league. That's kind of crazy if you think about it. But I think a lot of it had to do with that. It's early days in the season, and that I think a lot of it had to do with that 4 minute possession we had the other game there. So anyway, let's get into it. Let's talk about the players. Max Sipakov, I tell you, this guy just does nothing but impress me. It's not like he had a super great game of any sort. He had one shot on net, and it was a nice shot too, as well. But the thing about Sip is that I've noticed about him, and it doesn't go into the stat line, and it doesn't do that thing. I was talking about the other day how my buddy said Pajot always makes the wrong decision with who he passes the puck to. Well, Sipakov always makes the right decision, even when it's not flashy and you don't notice it. And it might be something just as simple as keeping a cycle going or whatever. But Max always makes the right decision. He may be the headiest hockey player we have on the Islanders. I'm just absolutely blown away by his vision. And the thing I love about him too, and with the high end prospect type players, you'll notice they rarely panic with the puck. And so many times they'll have skaters skate by them because they hang on to that puck just that half second longer, and they know how to do it. But I tell you, Sip is just making the right call almost every time he touches the puck. So super impressed with Sipakov. Simon Holmstrom, I mean, he was okay. He played well defensively in that, but I really think he's being an anchor on this first line because the first line, in my opinion, tonight was not that good. Horvat redeemed himself in this game because he scored the winner in OT. He wasn't bad, he wasn't awful, but thank goodness for our second line tonight. That's all I'll say is the first line wasn't looking great. Barzell, super, super fast. He was flying. He was all over the ice. It seemed like he was always on the ice. Let me check his ice time. Geez, he only had 20, 27. It seemed like to me like he was on the ice 28 minutes tonight. But that only shows you how much he dominates the play when he was in there, and he didn't have the other two guys going with him. Like I said, not a bad game by Horvat and a beauty of a goal for him. But yeah, we need more out of our first line, but that's okay. Like I said, we're a team that scores by committee, and we actually did that tonight. I've been harping on this podcast that we're a team that scores by committee. We had three guys score their third goal tonight. That is how we win hockey games. That's how we win hockey games. And so when our scoring by committee is going, it's great. When it's not, it's bad. So anyway, for me, for the first line, we got Simon Holstrom kind of weighing it down, even though he's doing a good job defensively on that line. And when I say weighing them down, it's just they're just not as offensively gifted with him out there. It's maybe once upon a time it might have been a forte part of his game, but it's not anymore. So Bars, I was glad to see him rewarded with an assist on that goal in overtime because he deserved it. He had a whale of a game tonight. Horvat, I gave you a C plus for the game. Maybe I'll bump it to a B minus since you had the game winner. So overall, the first line was acceptable, but there's so much better to come out of him. I'll still talk once I get to Wally. I'll talk about why he should be up there and not Holmstrom. But I think you guys already know why I think Wally should be up there. Liam Foudy had a good night. Like I said, I didn't see the fourth line goal that they gave up, so he could have made an error that I know nothing about. But from what I saw, the fourth line was pretty damn good tonight, even though they're going to come off the ice as a -1. And I know I said that their job is to break even, and being a -1 is not good. But from what I saw, which the only thing I didn't see from them tonight was the goal they gave up. But from the other stuff that I saw, they were fantastic. The whole fourth line. I thought Foodie probably played his most non-noticeable game. And this is including preseason. I thought he was very noticeable in preseason and noticeable in his games that he's gotten in, but this was his least noticeable game. And it kind of reflected in his ice time. He had 7 minutes and 2 seconds of ice time, but did nothing wrong that I saw. Could have been on the fourth line or on that goal. I don't know. So I'm just gonna leave with positive thoughts for Foodie. And let's see, Palms. Let's talk about Palms. Jeez, goal and assist tonight. Dude, the guy is just. It's like he's drinking from the fountain of youth or something. He's invigorated that he's some kid out there playing a fun hockey game again, and he's just been outstanding. Like his board work and he's producing, and that second line is just flying. This is the best representation of a second line that we've had in years and years and years and years and years and years. And it's because of these three guys. And I hate to break them up. I wouldn't mind seeing Sipakov on the first line, but I don't want to move him up there because I don't want to take him off the second line because the second line, yeah, chemistry is chemistry. And it's not something that can be taught. It's only something that happens. And when it happens, it's magic. And you don't fool with magic. And you don't go, okay, the first line's struggling, so I'm going to take Sipkov up so that they'll get better. Then all of a sudden, the second line's not the same anymore. So, uh, love what I'm seeing out of the second line, and I love what I'm seeing out of Mr. Palmieri with a +1 tonight in 18 minutes and 30 seconds of ice time and a couple shots on net. Beauty job, Kyle. Keep up the good work for this year. And like I said, you can write him in for 30 goals this year for sure. I can just see it coming. Uh, uh, Wallstrom, awesome game. Awesome game by Wally tonight. Very solid on the defense. Very solid on the defense. And he was making the offense happen on the third line. And there's no doubt that I think that the third line probably looked its best tonight with Wally on there. And it's probably the best third line's looked all year. Uh, not doing anything wrong right now, Wally. So anyway, you have to take this as a positive. What I would be doing with Wally, I said in my last podcast, I would be moving Wally up to the first line. I'd be taking Holstrom down to the third line, and I'd be putting Zeker on the fourth line. And that's how I would be making this work. But that's not the way it's happening right now. So, but Wally, it's a step in the right direction. You got started the season on the fourth line. You just moved up a line. And he didn't let me down tonight by moving up a line. He looked like a third line player out there. He looked like he could score at any given time. And he made one beautiful spinorama shot from the blue line. And it caused all kinds of trouble and havoc in front of the net because nobody was expecting the shot. And Wally said he was going to try to shoot the best he could. He was hoping for 2 shots a game. Uh, didn't It wasn't credited with the shot on goal, but I know he did get a shot on goal because I saw it. And it was a beautiful play. Anders Lee as well. Holy smokes. I really thought when Anders signed a 7-year, $7 million contract, I thought we'd be paying for it for the last at least minimum 3 years. And I gotta say, this contract is full value 7 for 7 because Anders to me is not slowing down. To me, he's looking a little faster and fleet of foot and scores a huge goal for us. And he did it with less ice time. He did it with 14 minutes and 44 seconds of ice. So Anders is making things happen on that third line. Like I said, I thought the third line was great tonight. Minded that was a power play goal. But Anders is playing quality hockey, and Anders scored his third goal of the year. He could be a 30 goal scorer. I didn't even include Anders in the possible 30 goal scorers. I said all 6 guys on the first 2 lines when Duclair was up there that they could all score 30 goals. I didn't say they all would, but I did say they all could. But you could also throw Anders Lee into that grouping as well. So we got 7 guys that got the possibility could hit 30 goals. And right now, Anders Lee is on a 30 goal pace. 3 goals in 7 games is pretty damn good. So uh, great start to the season by the captain. He's really leading. He's a true captain, and we're so lucky to have him. We just became so much better when the C went from Tavares to him. Just our locker room, everything. So uh, I'll always remember Anders Lee as a great Islander. Brock Nelson. October comes through once again. Real nice deflection there. Goal and assist tonight, +2. 20 minutes of ice time, 1 shot on net. That would be the goal that he scored, which was a beauty tip in. I think we can get more out of Brock. I think he had a really good game tonight. I think our second line was our best line by a mile. Uh, yeah, I'm so thankful for this second line, and I'm so glad that Brock is being Brocktober like he usually is. Like I said, you can count on it for sure that that's going to happen. Kirk McLean, he had such a good night tonight, except one thing, I don't know what happened on the goal. So he might have had something bad to do there, but he had one of the most egregious giveaways I have ever seen. He like made a tape to tape pass from the boards without really any pressure on him to a devil standing all alone between the hash marks in front of Ilya. And I was like, whoa, dude, what are you doing? But you know what? Everybody has a brain fart. But the rest of the game that I saw from him, he had a breakaway, he had another scoring opportunity. His penalty killing was fantastic. Our PK went over 2 tonight. That's huge for us. Uh, so other than that, McLean had a really, really, really good night from what I saw. And as for that egregious giveaway, I really can't think of Kyle McLean doing many things wrong. So if he does one bad one, and boy, when he goes bad, he goes big. But if he has one brain fart, I can give him that. I can look past that. That's hockey. You make mistakes in hockey, but wow, that was horrible. Pajot had a pretty good game because I thought the third line was pretty good. Also, Pedro picked himself up points tonight by grabbing an assist. 17 minutes of ice time, just like Anders. The third line was clicking. They were going, and I thought they were real good. real good. And Pager was one of the reasons for it. So we got a couple of shots on net tonight. His plus minus was even for the night. It's a good on the face-off dot. And good game by the third line. So good game, Pager. Keep up the good work. Like I said, it's amazing how much better you can play when you're healthy, and he looks it right now. I thought Casey Zizekas had an outstanding game tonight. I really did. Once again, I didn't see the goal that he was on the ice for, but I thought overall he was outstanding. Him, McLean, uh, what a great combo they really are. They really are for sure. So another good game by Casey tonight. Well done, Casey. Let's at least get even or +1 for the next game for the fourth line. But other than that, pretty good. Mike Riley, still noticeable. Trying to push the play more than he had at the start of the season. He he moved the puck up the ice. I noticed he's been moved to the top power play unit. He's on PP1, and I know why he's there because Mike Riley will shoot the puck from the top of the blue line. He did it like 2 or 3 times tonight on the power play, which is what we need to do on our power play so that they don't know that we're not going to not shoot from there. And things happened, and we got a goal out of it, not from Riley, but we got it from Dobson by shooting it. And there was obviously a clear message sent out by Patrick that he wanted shots from his two defensemen on the power play because they both shot. And Dobson normally will always pass it. So it's good to see Dobby shooting. It was good to see Riley shooting. I thought he had a pretty good game. The one thing I noticed about he did have one really bad giveaway, but the one thing that I noticed about Riley is that you know what? You have to take those kind of warts with those little giveaways. He's a 5'6" defenseman, and he's going to make mistakes. All 5'6" defensemen in the NHL make mistakes, but Riley can give you that little extra offense to boot. It's not like he's piling in the goals into our net or anything. He's going to make mistakes, and I will live with Mike Riley's warts as a 5th, 6th defenseman. I still think he needs to get into the play more. Last 3 games, he's been doing that, and tonight he was starting to shoot more, so I like that as well out of him. Adam Pelech, wow, what a game! What a game! That is the best game, no doubt, for Adam this season. But I may even go a step further and say I don't think he had a game as good last year as he did tonight. That was a great game. What a show by Pelech. He put on such a defensive show, and he was in there mucking it up in the offensive end, and he was making things happen. He made some sweet moves, some sweet break. It his whole game was just absolutely outstanding tonight. It really was. Top to bottom, everything he did was it looked like old prime Pelech or yeah, Pelech. He was outstanding. +1, 22 minutes of ice time. He got 34 shifts out there, 1 block shot. So really super game by Adam Pelech. Really happy to see them turning it around. It's nice to have Dobson and Pulias that shutdown pair again. So then let's talk about Pollock. I thought he had a pretty good game, got an assist on the OT winner. Good job, Mr. Pollock. Let's see. He had 21 minutes of ice time, 1 block shot as well, just like Adam, but he was a +2 tonight. So good for Ryan. I noticed he made a couple of stellar defensive plays out there tonight. Really, really solid. That D pair tonight was amazing. Absolutely amazing. So excited for them. Scott Mayfield, I thought he had a really good game. To me, it was more noticeable tonight, but it was noticeable on the defensive side of the puck. Like defense doesn't usually jump out to me like kind of did tonight for me with Pelech and Mayfield. They both kind of stuck out to me on the defensive side of the puck. And Scott is just a mucker, man. He's doing his thing. I know he's a -2 tonight, and that's not good, but overall, I still thought Scott was playing a pretty good game. He didn't get the ice time because of his -2. He was 11:35 in ice, so he was down. We need more of him out of that. Riley got an extra couple minutes because of power play time, so he got 13 minutes. Last game, when they had 15 minutes, we were much better off but they were playing better. So it was understandable, even though I thought Scott had a pretty good game tonight. I thought Romanoff was fantastic. I really did. Wow, that was a great hit he took, man. He got rocked. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. Romy got rocked, but boy, did they awake the Tiger and Romy. Holy smokes. He said, "You want to hit me? You want to hit me? You want to hit me? Okay, I'll hit your superstar." He goes out there and smokes Hughes. He smoked two other people. I can't even remember who they were at the time, but he was just laying the body out there, right, left, and center. He was pissed. He was pissed after that hit. And he comes out there and he just rips a shot from the point. And that was I can't remember. It was either Brock or Palms' goal, but I think it was Palms because it put us up 3-2. So great game by Romanov. He was outstanding. 22 minutes by ice time, three block shots, one shot on net, plus an assist on the deflected goal. So really super game by by Romy for sure. Ilya, I think he did what he needed to do to keep us in this game. As a matter of fact, we could have actually walked away from this game with 0 points if it hadn't been for a couple of saves that Ilya made in the third period. And we may not have even got it to overtime. We were badly outshot in the third period, 11-4. I don't like seeing a team that's playing back to back take it to us in the third period, whether we got a lead or not. So that wasn't great, but like I said, I didn't see the first Jersey goal, so I don't know how Soroki looked on that, but he didn't look bad on it. Well, he looked bad on the second goal because he wasn't even looking at the puck shooter, so he didn't even know where the puck is. So I guess you can put that down as a bad goal, but to me, that's just something that happens in hockey. He lost track of the puck and had no idea where the puck was, and before he knew it, the guy no time, didn't have the puck on his stick for even a millisecond. He just ripped it as soon as he got the puck. So I thought overall it was a pretty good game by Ilya. He had a 914 save percentage, but he made the important saves when we had to get those saves. So really good job by Ilya. I'm okay. So that's pretty much it for this podcast. I'm excited about the win. I'm not excited that we gave away another point to do it. I don't care when it's a Western Conference team, but when we're doing it to the Eastern Conference teams, that kind of ticks me off. And I need to start seeing some games where the Islanders absolutely comfortably win. We can't keep winning all our games in overtime. And it's just a bad trend. 4 out of 7. That's over 50% of our games right now going to overtime. That means we would be playing like 50 games in overtime. And last year we gave away 16 overtime points. 16. 16. You just break that in half and take 8 of those points. Put them onto the Islanders stats from last year. And we're sitting at 103 points and nicely in the playoffs and probably a better playoff team to play against. But just those 8 points. So Barry Trotz may be right. It is a points collecting business, but you also cannot be given those points away, which we do. So it's great to be happy that you got a point, but you can't keep always giving it away. And it's time for the Islanders to start winning some games by 2, 3 goals and whatnot. However, with saying that, I had hoped that we'd won both of our games at the start of the week, knowing that we were going into two tough teams. I think New Jersey may be a little higher rated in my head than they actually are. I'm not so sure. I really thought they were going to come back with the vengeance this year. I'm not so sure they're going to do it now. That looks like a pretty soft team to me. I know it was a banging game tonight, but they just seem soft. So um yeah, at least we're moving up. I'm happy with the win, but like I said, it's time to start winning some games by multiple goals. So happy. I don't know where we sit in the standings right now, but I know we moved up. There wasn't a whole bunch of games tonight. So that's good news. We stay above 500, 3-2-2. We got a big game tomorrow night against Florida. Oh, I remember what I was going to say. I want us to win the first two games of the week and then hopefully win one or two of the tough games between New Jersey and Florida. but it didn't quite work out that way. So we just did it in a different order. So I really think that right now with Florida, you don't know what you're getting with Florida. One night they look like the Stanley Cup chance, the next night they look like they're in the biggest Stanley Cup hangover you've ever seen. So um, yeah, it should be a good game. It would be nice to pull this one off. I'm assuming that Varley will get the start, and we really need it. And this is a game I'll say from the start that I'd take a loser point against, but it's at home, you know. The hell with this stuff. I said this team could contend with the top contenders, so let's just win this game outright. Why not? All right, so Islanders win 4-3 against New Jersey in overtime. You guys and girls, y'all take care out there and peace out. Right.